All right, February 3rd, happy Monday. Meteorologist Joseph Dames here at KOIN 6 Weather Center. You can see the lights glowing there in the distance. We have some live cameras back there showing some sunshine. That's always really nice. I want to wrap up January real fast, and then we'll talk about what's in store for potentially our February. We'll start off with our January temperatures right there, and it wasn't really a winter jacket sort of month, right? You didn't need that heavy down or anything like that. You just needed a rain jacket. Notice that we were pretty much above average just about every day, for the exception of that week, the 13th through the 18th, where we were kind of flirting with some snowfall, potentially for the lower valley. Didn't really come out to much there. We had some snowflakes, but temperatures were really about the lower 40s. That was about as cold as it got. 31st there, 62 degrees. How about that to wrap up January? So will we see something like that as we go into our February? Yeah, it's possible. We may see some spurts of some warmer air. In fact, the average high for January kind of wrapped up where we typically see our February, so it might actually feel kind of the same. I noticed for our February temperatures, this is 1941 to 2017 coming out of the airport, and our average high is 51.3. January actually wrapped up at 50.3, somewhere right around there, so it's going to feel very similar. And the average low is about 36.3. If you're around in 88 and 89, you may remember this huge swing. We had a day in 1988, 71 degrees was the high. And then we had a fast forward to 1989 there. And we had a daytime high of only 15 degrees. That was just a year apart. So, yeah, that probably felt like a massive change as far as Februaries go. You can see that extreme lows. 1950, we actually had a sub-0 degree day. So February is likely going to feel just like what we had this January. It's probably going to feel kind of mild. Let's talk about the rain real fast. Our January rain wrapped up at 7.58 inches. Not bad. We were above average there by 2.7. Notice we had 2 dry days, at 31st and the 20th, and then we had a trace on the 19th and the 9th. But every other day had some sort of measurable rain. And with that, it was pretty cloudy too. You might have felt that. All right, how about February? Well, in February, we usually have about 15 days of rain. Not bad. 4 days of a trace, 9 days of no rain. And this year we have the leap year. So I'm actually going to try to find some stats on our leap year weather and how that kind of wraps up. But the most was 1998. We had 25 days of rain in February and 2 days of a trace. So that's something we can manage. We did already just for this January. And if it happens again for February, then maybe it will get a little old, right? Okay, so our averages, notice the drop-off, 4.88 there for January, 3.66 for February. So we do see that kind of fall shy of where we are in January. There's a bit of a drop. I expect us to be right around average. We do have rain in the forecast coming up, but of course, ways out, we get towards the end of February, we may get that atmospheric river that produces an inch plus of rain. So we'll see if we end up getting something like that as we go through our February. But as I mentioned, cloud coverage is likely going to happen. On average, we get some cloudy days, about 80% to 100%, so mainly gloomy. Partly cloudy days about 4, and then clear days 3. And we're always rooting for those clear days. And if it's cloudy here in the valley, sometimes you get the sunshine up on the mountain, which is always nice. So I would anticipate a February that's pretty close to where we just had our January, just not nearly as wet. We've had some very wet days in February, so I can't rule it out. But if we just kind of play by the averages, we should be right around lower 50s, maybe about 3.5 inches of rain. And on average, actually, snowfall about 1.4 inches. Last February, we had 6.5 inches for snowfall. It was kind of a busy month, you'll probably remember. All right, so it's the 3rd now. It's a Monday after the Super Bowl. I hope you've enjoyed it. Here's some of our February stats. And we'll discuss more, and we'll have the forecast, of course, at KOIN.com. Go to /weather. You can get all the updates there. And if you'd like, you can see right next to me, you can find me on social media. That's my Twitter handle there, Joseph Forecast. You could also find me on Facebook as well. And I'll have updates, of course, as we go through the week.